Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Thursday, April 1st, and this morning I am joined by Boomy at Boomy TCF and Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 on Twitter. I am Zach Lilia at ZLilia. TCF, the main page is at typical_Chicago. This morning we'll be talking about the Cubs and White Sox opening day. The White Sox play late at night in Los Angeles against the Angels, and the Cubs have a 1:20 game against the Pirates at Wrigley Field. We'll get into both those games and maybe a little bit of a prediction for both teams. We'll see how that goes. And then we will recap the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight from this weekend and Monday, Tuesday. And we'll also preview the Final Four, UCLA versus Gonzaga and Houston versus Baylor. And then we'll talk a little Bulls, Hawks, and we will end the show like we always do with Bommys Wacky Web Story. If you want to follow us on Instagram or Facebook, type in Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page, Typical Chicago Fans. And then wherever you get your podcast from, type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. If it's Apple, please subscribe, rate, and review. Please leave a 5-star rating. Saying something not mean about Boomy, but just a little goofy. Say,
I can handle it. I got thick skin.
Yeah,
I say go mean.
Yeah, I don't care. Whatever.
The meaner the better. Come on.
Take your
the main thing is 5-star rating, please.
Yes, that's the only way it counts. If it's not a 5-star rating, then it's just mean.
Yeah, then you're just an asshole.
Well, that's rude.
Yeah.
Then you're just being mean.
Yeah.
Take whatever pot shots you need. Just give us a pat on the back while you do it.
Exactly.
And then go over to 26shirts.com, Chicago. Use the promo code Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. Again, that's Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase at 26shirts.com. Chicago boys, how are we doing this morning?
I'm wonderful. After work today, I start 10 days off, so I'm in a very good mood. And opening day, obviously, national championship, Final Four right around the corner. There's very little I could be upset about, so things are good in my world.
Maddie?
Yeah, no complaints. Weather's sucked today. Well, hopefully it's gonna be nice this weekend. Maybe get some maybe do a bonfire outdoor viewing of the Final Four Saturday. Pretty pumped for that. It's pretty nice.
I'll be over it.
I like that idea.
Yeah, see what I can put together there. Wife wants to be outside this weekend. Obviously, the kid's gonna want to be outside, and I'm gonna want to watch the Final Four. So boom.
Make everybody happy.
Yep. God bless the Fire Stick.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll have to do the same thing here, Boomy.
May have to.
It doesn't sound like a bad idea, but let's get into our first subject topic of the morning. Opening day for the Cubs, Sox, all of Major League Baseball. We were talking about it with college basketball. Will be over as of Monday. Tuesday, sorry. Wait, it's Tuesday?
Yes.
No, Monday night.
Oh, is it Monday? I thought they had moved it back.
Yeah, Saturday, Monday. Better be Monday.
And we'll have NBA a little bit. Playoffs don't start until what? June?
No. Playoffs start in May, yeah.
Sorry, they don't end till July though, right?
Right. They ended like the end of June.
Yeah, NBA is pretty spaced out.
So baseball, we'll have Cubs, Sox pretty much every day. So that's why I love baseball. It's going to be awesome. The Cubs have Kyle Hendricks on the mound at 1:20 at Wrigley Field. Boys, are we excited? How are we feeling about this season? Because I know with everything going on in the offseason and then the Rizzo stuff, it's like you're feeling whatever, but then it's just like baseball season's right here, and you just want to win every single game.
Yeah, it's definitely we got it taken away from us for so long last year, and I refuse to not be excited about a Cubs team, and especially if you look at the lineup. Yeah, we can talk about starting pitching and how that's going to look a lot different than it has the last couple of years. But at the end of the day, they still have a very, very talented offensive lineup, and if these guys can, have some bounce back years, they're going to be in games and they're going to be in a pennant race. So there's definitely excitement, and it's something we don't see a ton, where we're going to see both teams on both sides of town competing to win a division. And you hope that all the moves that were made were play out and pan out the way we hope they will. But I'm still pissed off that Marquee Network's such a train wreck and the Cubs can't figure that out. That's embarrassing. But yeah, still very excited for Cubs baseball.
Yeah, if you can watch it.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it as disheartening as the offseason was, it's obviously regardless, it's pretty exciting for opening day, no matter what the prospect of your team is. I think it's always cool. It's kind of like the one like kind of storied day in sports, it seems like, where there's like a little bit of a little bit of historic pageantry, like the everybody's 0-0 and ready to roll, and everyone's got the same shot. It's kind of historic in that sense, as long as baseball's been played in this country. Outside of that, you want teams in the third biggest market to act like teams in the third biggest market. It feels a little bit like both teams sold themselves short. As good as I think the White Sox are going to be, I think they're World Series contenders. I think they're one of the top World Series contenders in my book. I think they sold themselves a little bit short. I think this is the year that they could have spent. If you're going to overspend, spend when you got a bunch of young talent that's locked up. And they got a bunch of young talent that's locked up. And, you get a guy like George Springer, it insulates you from a loss with Eloy. And I just feel like the money was there to do it. And say what you want about George Springer. He's a World Series champ. He's been top of the order for one of the most dominant teams in the league the last few years. That kind of experience can be valuable as hell in a young lineup that's poised to win.
They play the Angels, 9:00. Giolito on the mound. It sucks they're not starting the season with Eloy, but you're going to have to move past that because he's most likely out for the rest of the season. But the World Series contenders.
Andrew Vaughn makes the opening day roster. That's got to be exciting.
At this point, you got to take care of business.
I like what they're doing with that kind of stuff too, with guys like Vaughn and letting they did it with Robert last year. Who else did it? Where they
Moncada, didn't they?
Yeah, extended him. I think Eloy did too, but extended him before before the season, get him on the opening day roster. They did not get a contract with Vaughn up to this point anyway. But
that was a little surprising.
It is, but it sounds like one's in the works. I don't know. I like seeing that. I would like seeing that as you don't get in these pissing matches with guys like Chris Bryant over stuff like service time then. But I don't know. I'd be pretty jacked if I was a Sox fan. That lineup is going to be absolutely loaded. Pitching staff looks great with Lance Lynn being added in with Keuchel and the Cy Young contender Giolito. Ridiculous bullpen. Drunk Tony La Russa calling the shots in the pen. I don't know. It should be a damn good team.
Yeah, I think their biggest. I mean, you've already seen it so far. They stay healthy, they're going to. In the divisions down, they should be able to win this division. Kind of going.
They're going to mash.
Yeah, they're gonna hit really well. If they can stay healthy, they're going to be fun to watch. And if you don't have Marquee Network on whatever TV network you have, you might have to be forced to watch more White Sox games this year. But no, like you said, it's that I said earlier. It's just fun to have competitive teams on both sides of town, and White Sox are definitely getting their moment after so many years of anguish.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see what they can do. Let's move on to we had the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 this weekend. It was all right. Honestly, it wasn't that great. I mean, the best game that I've seen was in the women's NCAA tournament. Out of the two tournaments, honestly.
Yeah, UConn Baylor.
It's been all right. The games have been fun, but I mean, honestly, We're gonna go through them. You're gonna talk about them. Like, they're awesome to watch, but they really haven't been like amazing games. I
Yeah.
know we had Michigan that
52-49 gets you to the Final Four.
yeah, Michigan had that last second shot that could have gone in for the win and stuff like that, but nothing
didn't
too
hit the
crazy.
backboard.
Yeah, you nailed it, Zach. The first game I want to talk about, the one we were hoping everyone to see, Illinois, Oklahoma State. We get Oregon State, Loyola in just a stinker of a game. And then Baylor just kind of keeps laying it on after that. They run through Villanova. This was going back to Saturday. Oral Roberts, kind of the Cinderella of everything. They stick in it, lose a close one to Arkansas, and then Syracuse's run ends as Buddy Boeheim kind of forgets how to shoot. And Houston just gave them the business as far as defense goes. Gonzaga's an absolute wagon moving to Sunday. 83-65. They rout Creighton. The game we were all wrong on, Michigan handled Florida State pretty easily, almost a 20-point win. And UCLA beats Bama in overtime. Bama could have made free throws and just played a little bit of defense. That game never goes to overtime. They hit the shot from the logo to even send it to overtime. And then UCLA runs it away from it in that. And then the Pac-12 matchup, USC and Oregon, we saw USC beat Oregon pretty handily by 14. But let's move into the Elite Eight games, Zach. Like you said, not great. It's kind of a similar story. Houston beat Oregon State 67-61 to punch their first ticket since the 80s in the Final Four. A 2 seed that never had to play a team better than a 10 seed to get to the Final Four. You don't see that very often. And then Baylor beat Arkansas by 9. Baylor heading to the Final Four, kind of like a lot of us expected. Gonzaga routs USC pretty handily, 85-66. And then the upset, like Matt said, Michigan falls to UCLA. So our Final Four that we'll see this weekend, Baylor and Houston, Gonzaga, UCLA, 4 fairly West Coast teams. For as good as the first 2 rounds were, I don't know about you guys, I love the first 2 rounds, and then basically everything since then has been kind of a stinker.
I'm not even really looking. I mean, Gonzaga is 14-point favorites.
Yeah, 14-point favorites, and Baylor's a 5-point favorite.
And then Gonzaga, Baylor, like they're the 2 best teams, but I don't know.
I really think we're just going to see Baylor Gonzaga like everybody's been saying since November that we're going to see in the national.
And for people who love college basketball, that's awesome. But really, that's not going to get a lot of like random people watching that.
Yeah,
the casual fan is not going to be.
No, because it's just they don't really. It's a 1 versus 1, and I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be a great game. It'll be fun to watch. But
I'm definitely looking forward to hopefully seeing those 2 teams.
Absolutely.
I think it's the only 2 teams that really I think could beat each other. Like when it comes down to it, I know Baylor lost a couple games, but I think really at the end of the day, they're head and shoulders. Have separated themselves as the 2 best teams since the beginning of the season.
Couldn't agree more, and I think we all are praying that they both take care of business on Saturday, so we get that matchup. Because, like I said, these 2 teams have been 1 and 2 literally since the AP poll opened up the season. And I think if you want to end the season correctly, you get Gonzaga and you get Baylor. Shoot, give me a best-of-5 series in this one.
I was listening to another podcast earlier today, and they were talking about is Mark Few the coach out there with best coach to never win a title. I think at this point you could make the argument and just stop it at just the best coach. I think it's what he's done at Gonzaga and the way that program's been built since the early to mid 90s and kind of systematically with Monson before him, but then Mark Few's really kind of taking it to the next level. He's recruiting 5 stars. He's getting unbelievable Euro players. He's getting the transfers. He's building the program whatever way he needs to. And it's really impressive what they've done.
It's really cool to see how, like you said, the progression. Like he started off, I remember when they went to the title. I think me and Zach were talking about this last night. They went to the title back in what was that, 18? No, 16?
17,
When they
and they lost to
17,
Carolina.
they lost Carolina. And that was it almost felt like all JUCO transfers and international guys. And then he started dipping his toe into like the McDonald's All-Americans a little bit deeper. And now, I mean, look, I mean, Suggs is a top recruit, and then he's got some other.
They're gonna get Chet Holmgren too. It sounds like.
Yeah, it's like it's cool to see how that progression is working. You really, I mean, it would be nice if Baylor pulls this off because that's who I have in a Sweet 16 pool. But man, would I love to see Gonzaga finally get it because he's built a hell of a program out there that's been fairly productive and very full of wins over the last 20 years. So definitely pulling for them.
I'm excited for the Final Four and the championship game, but like you said, the first 2 rounds, it seemed like that was where most of the excitement was, fun to watch, and it's kind of gotten basic.
Yeah, it's. I think. I mean, obviously, you look at UCLA.
Well, UCLA is 11. Yeah. But
yeah.
even at that,
everything outside of that's been fairly chalk.
Still an 11 seed blue blood who has the most championships in the history of the sport. So you know what I mean? Like it's not like it's some
and the games haven't. It's not like they haven't played. I mean, some of those games they like against was it Alabama? I mean, Alabama played awful and it took them to overtime to win.
Like I said, they won a game with 52 points in the Elite Eight. They won an Elite Eight game with 52 points. So that's just come on.
But it will be exciting to watch either way.
Juzang is a hell of a player, though. He was unreal last night.
Unreal. So it'll still be fun to watch.
If you hate Kentucky, this is you gotta love this. He leaves Calipari and becomes one of the best players in the country in the national tournament.
He was pretty good with Kentucky too, though. That's the thing. It's not
he's good.
He was gonna play a ton this year, so it's not like he left for a minutes thing either. But
do you guys? All right, I gotta ask real quick. Do you guys hate the whole Mark Few and his dad storyline?
Mick Cronin, you mean?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had Mark Few on my brain.
I think they show it way too much. I think, like, it's gotten to the point where it's just like, we know, it's cool. His dad's there to support him. I'm sure there's other dads there supporting either coaches or other. Like, come on. Like, it's just another one of those things that CBS just grabs a hold of and just beats the shit out of and beats it into your head.
It's a cool story, but it's just like
until you can't stand anything good anymore. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think you guys both like you said, Zach. Like, come on. Like, I love it. Obviously, as someone who coaches and whose dad has been a coach for his whole life, I like that story. But like, you don't need to it almost feels like at times they're taking time away from the game that they could be spending. Like, I want to see your in-depth
half-times. What are we doing?
God. No joke, Zach. So last night when I left your house, I said I was going to go home and shower, and I would be back by the time this game started the second half. I didn't even drive very fast. I did laundry, took a shower, came back. There was 19 minutes and 12 seconds. It was like 35 minutes. Unbelievable. Figure it out.
Do we have any thoughts and feelings on the dancing emojis at halftime, by the way?
That's weird. Get that whole crew. You have no better – like – I get that you want the familiar faces. You got Chuck on there. But those are NBA guys. Stop giving me NBA guys to talk college basketball.
Boomy, you know what I want? I want someone who knows and actually has watched college basketball at all this season.
Exactly. It's not that much to ask for. You have so many great analysts on ESPN from Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to midnight. Give me some of those guys that know what the hell they're talking about, not Charles Barkley, who doesn't even know where Gonzaga University's at.
Yep.
I agree. That's one of the parts of the tournament that's been bad, too. If you're going to have long halftime.
Medical advice last night, Zach.
What?
How about Chuck's medical advice last night? The referee collapsed on the floor, and they're like, he's going to go back to the hotel. And Chuck goes, oh, I don't think that's a good idea. And Zach's like, well, glad we asked for Charles Barkley's medical expertise here. Like, shut up, Chuck. You know
that was unbelievably scary. Scary. That was crazy. But let's move on. The Bulls They are losing to the Suns as we record at 6 a.m. 67-58 at halftime. No Zach LaVine tonight. He has an ankle injury, which they're just kind of. I think he kind of had it going into the last game. So hopefully he can get back soon. They're still trying to figure it out a little bit. And the Suns, that's a good team. So the Bulls just going to kind of have to keep it moving and see if they can get all the pieces to click. So,
don't panic just yet, Bulls fans.
I'm saying,
they just acquired
let everything work itself out.
Exactly. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. So just relax. Vucevic is going to be just fine. Like, relax. There's 5 new faces. They lost like 2 games before they even had a practice. Mm-hmm. So,
and then the Blackhawks play the Hurricanes tonight at 7. The Blackhawks playing a little bit better here.
Big game last night.
Big game tonight also. So, Matty Pucks, got any thoughts?
No. I want them to start playing a lot better than they've looked. Shaky, even when they've stolen a couple wins, and they're not beating the good teams at all, and that's what's getting a little concerning. You know, they struggle with Florida, obviously. They struggle with Tampa, and you know they're the good teams. They're going to struggle against them. You'd like to see them look a little better against those teams, though, too, and not look just so completely outclassed.
Matt, how did Kirby Dack look in your eyes?
Yeah, he cost them a loss in the second game with a really bad turnover that gave Nashville a pretty easy chip and goal to take the lead like late in the third. But it's nice to have him back in the middle hitting people, and he's a really physical presence down the middle. And he's gonna be a good player, man. He really is. It's gonna be finally one of those guys to watch grow, and along with
still only 21 years old.
I don't think he's even 21. I think he's 20. Like I said, I've talked about him a lot this year. Ian Mitchell has looked really good. And Boquist has looked a lot better this year than he did last year. Like, far better. Like, much more like a top 4 D man, which is what you expect to get where you drafted him. So the future's looking better than it did, I'll say 5-6 months ago, from my perspective. And you're getting Doc back earlier than you thought to. So let's get some more wins. We get a few more. Start getting 2s again. The 2s are big, especially in regulation. So playing division teams each night.
Tied for 4th right now, right?
Yeah, got to keep grinding out wins. You can't give away against these shit teams like Nashville. And I know Nashville's played a lot better and gotten themselves back in the playoff race, but I think the Hawks are a better team. You got your centerman back. You got your number 1 centerman back now with Taves still on the shelf till God knows when. But got to get these wins. You got to get 2.
Let's keep it moving. Boomy, you have a wacky web story for us.
I sure do. And with baseball season starting up, I had to get something baseball-centric. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to Chattanooga, Tennessee, but they have a minor league team there called the Chattanooga Lookouts. Yep, chugga, Matt. But a minor league baseball team, the Chattanooga Lookouts. Had to throw it in for you.
That was a funny thing to say to that.
It's been a long day, all right. You got to keep it loose, okay?
I would have accepted as well.
Thank you. I appreciate you finishing that up about 30 seconds after I looked like an asshole. Appreciate that, buddy. Come down here under the bus. Anyway, the Chattanooga Police Department.
Just a 6-foot-long one is all.
Well, thank you. The Chattanooga Police Department is hard at work we're hard at work because the Chattanooga Lookouts mascot costume for Louie the Lookout was stolen last week.
Unreal.
God, they have
bastard takes a mascot.
Yeah, what I want. Throw
what
this
are you
guy.
Gonna do with that?
You don't want to know. There's
dominate the furry parties.
Matt, I know where you're going with this. All right, but it was found by an employee at a nearby aquarium. Found the costume near the team stadium. That employee definitely stole the costume. Just in case the police department are looking for suspects. The employee that found it is number 1. but they had said that it was stolen last week, along with several hundreds of dollars in merchandise and equipment. But none of the property was returned or located other than the mascot suit. Police are reviewing security cameras and asking the public for any tips. But like I said, let's start at the aquarium employee that found the costume. But thank God when they kick off the season on May 4th in Chattanooga, they will have their mascot in attendance.
You guys want to hear a related story to mascots?
What?
I spent some time as a mascot.
Me too.
For a minor league baseball team.
Oh, I was Yogi the Bear.
At a campground?
Yeah, and I accidentally tackled a very small kid because whoever was supposed to be you can't see anything in them. And the person that was supposed to be leading me up the stairs didn't tell me there was another stair, hit it, tackled a little small child into a bush, and they never let me dress up as Yogi Bear again.
Ouch. Yeah,
I thought I tore my ACL.
I was Charlie T. Riverdog of the Charleston River Dogs minor league baseball squad, Class A, South Atlantic League Yankees affiliate.
Nice.
I was actually the newspaper dressed up as Charlie T. Riverdog. Giving high fives to some kids at a school function. I had to show up and shake hands and hang out with the kids during recesses.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine.
In South Carolina, I'm sure that was warm.
It was scorching even in the fall when I was there. So I had to work. I worked like one of those like kids carnival kind of things. It was at a dentist office to like, hey, we're fun here. Come to this dentist office. So they bring in a bunch of carnival games and prizes and stuff. That thing was no less than 150 degrees out in the middle of the afternoon, and I'm walking around this parking lot just absolutely pouring. This dentist office, all the staff was all like, they're awesome. They like kept bringing me inside to like get me the air conditioner and like give me like waters and stuff. So yeah, they were taking care of me. But there was some fun times as the mascot down there.
Incredible. You think you know a guy?
I can't.
That's how I met a bunch of professional players one night when I was the mascot too at some event. It was pretty wild, dude.
I can't believe that you were too much of a loving mascot.
Like no, man!
Hey, what's up?
Actually, it was I was big river dog, so I shouldn't say teddy bear. No, Charlie T. River Dog.
What I mean is
Charleston River Dog.
You probably weren't enjoying.
Yeah, 120 degrees outside. It'd be hard. It was. I know personally. I didn't have to do it very often. I was a miserable prick inside that thing.
I'll see if I can find the newspaper article. I know I've got it somewhere around here. We'll get that. We'll tweet it out if I can find it.
Hey, little did we know before we recorded, Zach's the only one in the podcast that hasn't dressed up as a mascot. So pick your game up, Zach.
Well, only
I'm okay
one
with
of
that.
us has been fired as a mascot.
Yeah, true.
Only one of us was asked back to be a mascot.
Yeah, that's true. I was definitely not. I was taken off of Yogi Bear duty very
They sent
quickly.
you back to cleaning up the campground toilets is probably what happened.
Never had to do that, thank God, because I would have quit. No chance I'm doing that.
Well, this has been the TCF Morning Show, Thursday, April 1st. Thank you to Boomy at Boomy TCF and Matt Schoolfield at Schools_01 for joining me this morning. I am Zach Lilia at ZLilia TCF, the main page at typical_Chicago, Instagram, Facebook. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. Go over the YouTube page, type in Typical Chicago Fans. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Morning Show's podcast interviews are all on there. And then wherever you get your podcast from, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. And then shout out to 26shirts.com, Chicago. Use the promo code Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. Again, that is Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase at 26shirts.com. Chicago. Anything else, boys?
Beautiful day. It's opening day. Just enjoy life for a little while.
Gonna be a good opening day for Francisco Lindor. Breaking news: 10 years, $341 million. Happy opening day, Frankie Lindor. Holy cow.
Wow. That's a lot of money. Wow. Whew. What was I going to say?
That kind of money will take the thoughts out of your brain.
It'll take the thought right out of you. I think we were just going to have a beautiful Thursday. It's usually where you're at. I cut you off right before it.
No, let's get a W.
Absolutely.
Let's get a W. Let's wave the flag, baby. It's opening day.
Mm-hmm. This has been the TCF Morning Show, Thursday, April 1st. We love you all.
Peace.